G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for part 25 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide. In the last episode, we got the last of Victoria's bust, and we went and did some piety farming. Now, before continuing on through the rest of Act 3, I am going to stop and do some more piety farming. I kind of want to level myself up to like level 55-ish, and maybe find a few upgrades. So to make the farming a little bit more enjoyable, because we're going to have to do quite a few piety runs, I have with me a special guest, character name Alectoblade here, is actually Amy, who is my personal assistant on YouTube. You might see her answer some of your Facebook messages and things like that for you, and she helps me get through a lot of the questions and stuff you send me, guys. So say hello, yell out hello from across the room. There you go. So we're going to be farming some piety and splitting some drops and things like that. And she's actually, throw up some Searing Bonds there. She's playing my Searing Bond Fire Trap Templar. Now you can find the build video for that on my channel, of course. And it's a pretty fun build, and you're having a lot of fun with it, aren't you? It's been pretty awesome from watching her level, and she's probably been having an easier time of it than me. She just absolutely destroyed in the last Dominus fight I actually watched. But anyway, let's go do some piety farming. So, since we're actually running with two of us here, one of us can actually drop a portal, so Amy will leave a portal here, and then what we can do is, after we kill Piety, I can drop my portal, and then we can take Amy's portal back here to refresh this instance, so we can like go back up into level 2 and then refresh this zone, which will cut a little bit of time off the runs as well, so just a nice little point of efficiency there. Oh. I was like trying to get it and you're running through the door there. Oops. Okay, so this will be Amy's first cruel piety kill. This is the furthest she's ever been in Path of Exile, in fact. We did play a while back in open beta, but haven't played yet. She hasn't played yet. She's only just started playing now again since 1.0.0. So she's doing pretty well so far. I suspect you'll be beasting this fight, Ames. But I don't think you'll die. Just watch out for the cold arrows. Put your Searing Bond totems down, and we'll see the seek damage happen. These should be faster kills with you than they are by myself. Alright, I'll see if I can do some tanking. There we go. The totems do pretty good tanking too. Get them fire traps happening. Yeah, you're free to use your curse. I think you're going to be putting out most of the damage here. Here's another one. See if I can distract. Go totems, distract! The totems are excellent damage dealing distractions. You unfortunately don't have any methods of leeching, whereas I can kind of heal myself up by attacking. You kind of have to rely on those potions, on those flasks. Whoa, hide behind. Kill these guys. At least you'll get to refill your flasks. Alright, she's down. Let's attack again. Get those fire traps happening on her. That'll keep her energy shield down. Where'd she go? Oh, she's ice form again. No! Amy! Okay, let's go again. Get that fire curse happening again. Let's get some sweet damage. Alright, she'll probably go fire form here, but that's okay. So then she'll sort of stand still. Ugh, ate a big lightning warp there. Alright, there we go. She's going down pretty quickly in that fire. You're low on mana. Yes. Yeah, the Searing Bond totems aren't cheap. They get pretty costly. That's why that build needs Eldritch Battery. But here we go. It's gonna be, oh, none of us have culling, I don't think. Oh, unique. Oh, it's my rusted sword. What did you get? Noble Tricorn, Steel Gauntlets, and Highborn Staff. You have to tell me what that helmet's like.
What helmet?
You picked up a hat.
Oh, it's a mole.
No, you picked up a Noble Tricorn. A hat. What did I get? Oh, the shield's alright. It's got some resists and life and stuff. None of us use shields or anything though. Oh, you got a unique maul as well? We got 2 unique stuff that? I didn't even see the second one. Wow. You got a Void Home. Reduced XP, but a lot of damage for this level. But probably not too useful overall. And I got Red Beak, which is like useful for leveling and useful for some spell builds with low life, but yeah. Not too useful overall. What about that hat you got, the Noble Tricorn? Is that any good? The rest of my stuff's not too great. Wrathhorn. No, that's pretty terrible. Alright, let's go do another kill. So the way we're organising this is I just go back through Amy's portal, create a new instance here, and then I can just start running, and when she's ready to come in, I'll just drop a portal. Are you ready to jump in yet? Not quite?
Where am I getting my reward?
From Grigor, I believe. gives you the passive point. So, interesting little tidbit here. I actually decided to stop leveling Enduring Cry at level 7. It has a level requirement of 37 there, which is the same as a level 4 cast on damage taken. Now, we're probably eventually going to use that in our cast on damage taken setup. So, by stopping leveling it now, I'm not losing out on too much. The bonus for Enduring Cry is just kind of how many charges you get per 100 enemies that are near you. So, you can still generate endurance charges just fine with a level 7 Enduring Cry. Like, it's not a big difference. So, stopping leveling it now doesn't give too much of a detraction, and it means I'll have this ready for my cast on damage taken setup later on, and I won't need to level another gem. However, I guess the alternative would be to just keep leveling this one and level another one later, because it doesn't take too long to level one up to 7, like later on in the game, and we might want one for self-casting as well. So, yeah, you could keep leveling it if you wanted to, just be prepared to get another Enduring Cry if you want to have one self-cast as well, but I'm happy to stick with it like this for now. Alright, I think we're about to have Piety kill number 2 of the day, if I don't die myself. There we go, here comes the kill! Oh, a sniper bow. Could be good. I think sniper bow's a little bit low level now, but we'll see. I'm just gonna snag that decimation bow off you. You're a bit slow on that pickup, so I'm just gonna steal that. I'm just gonna steal that. But it's bad. Here you go. You can have it back. Scumbag ZiggyD. Yeah, you got tons of loot on this run. I got like 2 bows. That's it, and one of them I stole. All right, let's go do another run. Ah, yes, looks like Amy managed to score a pretty nice pair of gloves there. Do you happen to need those gloves? Do you?
Not right now.
Are they an upgrade for you, or?
I can get them back at some point.
No, if you need them, you earned them. They were your drop. I'm not going to ninja the good drops off you unless I already ninja them and then find they are a good drop. I'm not going to ninja them after you. I'm not going to post ninja them. Oh, Tabula Rasa! And that's mine too. Huzzah, 6 link. Awesome. Actually, that could be handy. That might actually be handy. Oh, let's identify the Tabula Rasa to find out that it has nothing! No stats whatsoever. In fact, it has less stats when you identify it than when it doesn't. I'll show you, Ames, because I don't think you've seen one before. But there you go. There's the t-shirt. Basically a t-shirt. But it's got 6 sockets. I always think the graphic for Tabula Rasa looks hilarious, but this is actually something I could potentially lose. Of course, I'd lose a lot of life and resist to do it, and armor, not to mention, would be a pretty significant hit. But if we got like chain and added fire and all of the gem setups we have now, so we could run something like, we could run lightning arrow, pierce, we could run lightning arrow, chain, lesser multiple projectiles, life gain on hit, faster attacks, added fire. We could run a bunch of different supports and make our AoE ability really powerful with that. So that's actually pretty good. You can kind of use that as in place of a 6 link or a 5 link until you can get yourself a 5 link usually. And it's a pretty good way to give yourself a big DPS boost at the cost of some defensive stats. So if you can make those up in other gear slots, then it works out pretty well. But if your other gear's a bit subpar, it can be a bit iffy to run a Tabula Rasa, because, you know, you might just die. And it's no good, especially if you're playing in hardcore, because then you'll also lose your Tabula Rasa. It's probably also worth mentioning that Tabula Rasa also goes for a significant amount of currency. Not like, it's not crazy, it's not like 12 exalts or for Bringer Rain or something like that. But it is a significant amount. I seem to recall selling one off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, in early Nemesis for about 1.5 exalts. So I'm pretty sure you could get something like an exalt or a bit less for it now, even in Domination League. But don't quote me on that. It was a while ago that I sold one. But I know it is a decent amount of currency. So that drop there is going to help us buy some really nice gear at endgame as well if we don't need to use it for ourselves. But that said, it's a really nice item just to have in your stash to keep for leveling other characters and testing things. Like, if you ever think, oh, I wonder how well this skill works with all of these support gems, and you can instantly chuck that on and up on any character and test how a 6 link works, and, you know, test different support gems and things like that. So it's a really cool item just to have as like a sort of a makeshift 6 link to test things out. So it's a nice one. I feel like everyone should have one of those in their stash eventually. There is an exile. Thena Moga, what are you doing in there? Amy's got a skeletal shrine as well, so she's summoning skeletons all over the place, and I can't tell what's going on. And I thought, is this something jumping around in there? And it's literally a rogue exile in there, I didn't even see. But this could be another opportunity for some, this is like getting a double Piety kill. These things drop as much loot as Piety. In fact, because they drop one of every slot, you have a pretty good chance at getting like a rare ring and stuff like that. So, oh man, she's like just smashing everything with the Viper Strikes there. I actually need to back off a second. There we go. Should be able to finish her off though. I can kind of leech through that damage pretty well actually. Doing pretty well on the old leeching front now. And, ooh, chain belt, majestic plate, yes please. Nothing else. Oh, nothing for Amy. Well, maybe if any of these are good for you. There's armor, cold resist, nothing really, helmet, and a pretty average chest. But if that's an upgrade for you, then maybe I'll let you have that if it's an upgrade. Yours is good. Alrighty, well, you stick with yours for now then, alright, and I'll keep that. It's yeah, no, it's probably not really worth keeping. Not quite good enough. The resists are a bit low, and the life roll is pretty low as well. Oh, Amy! Oh no! Oh, reap! I'll drop your portal. There you go. You can come back. It's all good. We're playing in domination. And here comes Piety guild number 3. Oh, what do we get? Some crowns, some 12 eggs. Oh, gold ring, nice. I can't remember. I think those were mine there. But I don't think any of these will be any good for me. The crown could be good. Nah, it's rolled pretty badly. What about these guys? Life and resist. I'm getting lots of ones with life and resist, but they're really quite low rolls. What about this sword? The sword's pretty average as well. Anything good on your end, Amy?
Those two are actually yours.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll grab those as well then. I don't think they'll be any good either, though. Yeah, nothing on that. Oh, 103 increased physical damage and cold. But no second physical mod and no attack speed, so not really that good. Not really that good. Alright, I'll throw another portal up. Alrighty, and I think this is like the 4th Piety kill. And there we go. Ooh, quite a few uniques from this one. And a storm call happening there, but looks like these ones are all for me. All for the ZiggyD. There's a superior flask too. I should probably grab that. But I'm just about level 54, and I think Amy's like level 55 by now, right? Yeah. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to head backwards from the Lunaris 2 waypoint. We'll grab the waypoint in here, and then, or we probably won't even grab the waypoint in here actually. We'll probably just continue straight through to Imperial Gardens. Then from there we'll get the Imperial Gardens waypoint and do the library side quest, which gives us a support gem. I don't actually know what the cruel support gem is, but we'll check it out anyway. Might as well just do it. Give us a bit more of a chance to level up in there. The library zone actually isn't too bad to farm, if a little dangerous in terms of physical and freezings, but mostly it's pretty cruisy, and yeah, we'll start doing that progression now. Oh wow, I just transmuted that coral ring, and on the first roll, 54 maximum life and 5 to all resist. Now, that is probably a straight upgrade on this. We're going to lose some cold resist, I think. What's our current cold resist? 72%. Brings us down to 52%. How much life do we gain? About an extra 100 life. It's a bit of a trade-off losing that cold resist. Is pretty necessary, but it's a nice life jump. So I might just sort of take it. We're not going to be dealing with too much nasty cold damage moving forwards now. Piety is the main cold damage in this sort of area of Act 3, and it doesn't look like we're going to be experiencing too much of that. Now, I also did find a pretty nice pair of gloves. Finally, I think. Good enough to upgrade our previous ones. This is going to give us our cold resist back, but we're going to lose some lightning and fire. Let's see how that balances out. 49, 75, 44. Our resists are kind of a bit iffy now. Kind of a bit iffy. Losing the resist from those gloves hurts a bit. We gain a fair bit of life, up to 2,400 now. And damage is probably, on par. It's a bit less damage, but it's physical, which is a little bit better for us because we can scale it. But, it's a bit iffy. It's a bit iffy. I'm going to have to at least use a chromatic here to sort this out. But we'll go with it now, and we'll try and balance the rest of our gear around it, because overall it's gear improvements, so we'll try and keep that. But I will keep this pair of gloves, because it's been a pretty solid pair of leveling gloves. And Amy is kind enough to trade us a Jade Flask drop here. We'll give her a fusing for that. That's fair. That's fair for a Jade Flask, I think. But it's already got 10% quality on it, actually. So let's actually do a little bit of flask crafting here. We're also now high enough level to use our Hallowed Life Flask, the next tier of Life Flask. So we probably want to go ahead and upgrade all of those as well. So what I need to do is sell these quality flasks, because we're going to start getting some more glass blowers baubles here. So let's go ahead and sell all these guys until we get the maximum amount of glass bowls we can get, which seems to be if we take... No, we want one of those back. No, not quite. What about if we take... Come on, let's balance this properly here. Okay, well, I can't be bothered figuring out which one is the wrong one there. So we got an extra 2. Now I can go ahead and use these on this jade, and this will be able to craft up. So now that since we have iron reflexes in this build, as you can see here, the base evasion we get from the jade just turns into armor. So it's a nice substitute for a granite flask, and jade flasks are a little bit cheaper as well. Getting 1-for-1 fusing isn't very unusual there. So, what we want to try and roll, however, is increased armor percentage on this Jade Flask, because, whoa, level 95 has died at position 18 on the Nemesis ladder, that must be. That's interesting. Anyway, I don't know why we're getting notifications in Domination. That seems a bit weird. Anyway, so we're going to try and craft increased armor on this, because that's going to increase not only the armor that we get from the Jade conversion, but also the other armor we have as well. So dispels burning is not quite. This is a suffix we're looking for, is the increased armor. So ample is a prefix. We can try and augment it here, but unfortunately didn't really get the right one we want there. We got increased armor during Flask effect and recharges on critical strike. Now this is a pretty bad roll. 64% is quite low. You can get close. You can get about 100%. So that's actually pretty low, but it's good enough for now. I don't want to spend too many alts on that just yet. So I'm actually going to put that on my toolbar now, because we're going into an area, the library, that actually has pretty high physical damage. So we'll be using that in there to keep ourselves alive against those heavy-hitting, like giant skeletons and skeletal rowers and things like that. Now we're also going to get some normal life flasks, see if Clarissa has any halodes. And it doesn't look like she does, unfortunately. And I don't quite have the flask upgrade. I could upgrade some Sacred Life Flasks, so if I get these 3 here, we can sell these back to her. A bit expensive, but there's a hallowed. That's alright, we'll make our own halloweds. Amy's offering to give us some. But we'll craft these 2 up. I'm not going to bother qualitying these, obviously. Now, we need to keep a... it doesn't matter too much what we get. We've got a seething or bubbling would be nice. So let's just try and get some nice flasks. This is a resistance flask here. This is actually pretty good. I'll keep this aside and we'll augment this at some point. I might put this on... we'll put this on this one here. And she's got a saturated hallowed mana flask of grounding. That's not going to help us too much. But we'll see what we get here. Sapping is no good for us. Surgeons, that's an increased armor flask, funnily enough. That's actually a really nice roll too, so I might as well just take that for now. It's a long duration heal that it gives us increased armor, and it recharges when we deal critical strikes, so we'll just keep those for now. That's fine. So as I said before, the fastest way to get to Imperial Gardens from our sort of progression that we did with parties, we jumped straight into a piety farming party, is actually to go backwards rather than to go all the way through the sewers here. So what we'll do is we'll start in Lunaris 2, we'll find the entrance to Lunaris 1, and then we'll head back through Imperial Gardens that way. So while we're trying to find Lunaris 3, I'll actually just step back here. I can show you the intense difference that this Jade Flask is going to have on our defensive capability. As you can see on the left side of the screen there, our current physical damage reduction is 36%. That's under the effects of no other buffs. But if we pop that, it brings us all the way up to the cap of 75% there, I believe is the cap. So that's a pretty huge defensive buff. You can see our armor goes from 1500 to well over 8000. So that's because of that sort of doubling up effect there, that doubling boost. So it's really, really powerful. Especially when you start combining it with something like endurance charges as well. You're getting the flat physical damage reduction. We could easily tank Colst matches all, pretty much all day, but we're not going to do that anyway. No real benefit to doing that. Yay! Finally got a good currency drop. Chaos Orb. And it was mine. Man, I think Amy's a good luck charm for me. I found Tabula Rasa. I found a few fusings. I did ninja one of them, I'm going to be honest. But we found some pretty nice drops, and and now a Chaos. I think I have to have Amy along with me for farming runs a little more often. I've made more currency in these piety farming runs than I've made pretty much in the entire run of this character. So pretty good, pretty good. Alright, so leaving Lunaris Temple level 1, heading into the Ebony Barracks, what we'll do is we'll probably just grab the General Gravicius kill on the way through as well. It should be pretty cruisy with both of us here. Generally, a smaller party with high DPS is going to kill Gravicius a lot faster than a full party of 6, so if you want to do Gravicius solo, if you're pretty confident by this point after doing a bunch of Piety runs, you should be. You can go ahead and do him. As I said, the rewards really aren't that significant. You can skip him altogether without really any significant loss to yourself. But we can do him here since we're already going to be running through this zone anyway. And you should just be on the other side of this tent. Alright, we'll have to keep moving against Gravicius. He does hit pretty hard. My fire resist is pretty low now. I think it's like 48% as well, so we definitely want to stand back, and I suggest not standing next to him when he's got Molten Shell up, because my attacks will explode the Molten Shell, and you'll eat the full force of that, Ames. That does hurt pretty badly. But, oh, we're killing him super fast. The Searing Bond Fire Trap action and some extra damage from Frenzy seems pretty effective, and he's distracted by the totems too. Rad. Cool. There we go, nice easy kill. So from the Gravicius kill, we can just head straight down these stairs, and then you can pretty much hook, like, kind of right. I think it's always right, but you'll kind of go into this little garden inlet zone here, and I guess we can grab the Thorn Shrine, whatever. But just in here will be the entrance to the Imperial Gardens, as you can see, just up there. So Imperial Gardens is pretty dangerous. There's some pretty high damage enemies in here. But, you know, like when you kill these, their Thorn attack on death does quite a lot of damage. As you'll see, my health jumps around quite a bit from those guys dying. So you want to watch out for things like that. There's also the Devourers popping up and dealing them massive amounts of damage. So do progress through here pretty carefully. We kind of just want to head out into the middle of the zone. So following this main path should eventually lead us to the waypoint. And there it is. We found it pretty quickly this time. Sometimes it's a bit further away. Now from there, I'm pretty sure we want to head to the north. I'm pretty sure it's the northwest is always going to be the library, but I'll double check the archives and library zones there. Pretty sure it's always going to be in that direction. There's also another side quest we can do in here, grabbing the plum from the maze as well, the hedge maze, to give that to Fairgraves, but we can do that a little bit later. Now using a granite flask against these dying, like you saw, I just popped my granite flask there. You can see the top in the effect of it up in the top left of the screen. Helps a lot against their sort of incoming damage. So it's a good idea to pop those just as those guys are about to die, and you'll mitigate a large percentage of that damage. Alright, so yeah, it was to the northwest of the waypoint. Let's just double check there. Yeah, northwest. I'm pretty sure it's always in the northwest as well. I'm pretty sure these spawns are pretty reliable. So we'll jump into the library now. We can grab the waypoint and do the side quests in here as well. So as I said before, the large skeletons in here and the skeletal rower charges and these bears and things all hit really hard with physical damage. So if you have a jade or granite flask at this point, which I highly recommend trying to get either one of those. You can buy them for like an Ulk, or if you're desperate at Chaos, if you haven't got one by this point. I managed to buy one for fusing, as you guys saw from Amy, very kindly. You want to use that against these as much as possible. If you see you're about to eat a bunch of rower charge, get in the habit of building that muscle memory. You're going to want to always use that. There's actually some preserved rowers in there. That's pretty interesting. But get in the habit of using that granite flask whenever you sort of sense that you're about to take a big influx of physical damage, and eventually you'll build that muscle memory, and that'll help you a lot. So then would have been a good time to do it, but I was kind of focusing instead of my commentary and not on my actual gameplay. Sometimes I play a little bit sloppy, but now's a good time to do it. You know, these guys are charging. I'm kind of stuck in amongst a bunch of different skeletal rolls there, so I can mitigate a bunch of that damage. Alright, so we've got the waypoint and the quest here, so we can just continue hitting. Once you get the actual waypoint quest giver here, you just want to head to the opposite side of it. We'll continue on towards the quest, so it's not going to be any way back in this direction. It's going to be continuing on through the zone to reach the other exit. What are you ninjaing? What did you ninja? What was it?
Armorous scrap.
Oh, just an armorous scrap. Alright, I'll let you keep it. I saw Amy's little dot moving around, then all of a sudden it stopped. And it was stopped for the exact amount of time that a short allocation item drops for it. And I was like, yep, I knew it. I knew you were ninjaing something. She's kind of just like, la la la. La 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 la. Waiting for the item to come off allocation. Sneaky ninja.
I just see Kiwi disappearing around doors. I can't actually see you.
Follow the Kiwi. Where is my Kiwi? Man, he was like super far back. Oh, he's the zone boss, by the way. And Cloud Strike sending me a message. I think is the guy that built my computer, by the way. FTG Computers. Ventricular Computers. Is them. The zone boss in here is pretty cruisy. Well, let's check out the decimation bow. Oops, wrong button. Wow, that's a very high lightning and cold damage rolls, very high elemental rolls. But Decimation Bow, this base type, the one that kind of looks like the Death Bow, is a super bad bow base type. Amy's dying over here, I'm just discussing bows. It's a super bad base type to roll like an pure elemental damage bow. You want a very high attack speed bow for pure elemental damage. If that was on like a Grove Bow or something with like 1.5 attack speed, that would actually be a really nice bow. But as it stands with 1.1 attack speed, with those elemental rolls, probably not really good enough there. Alright, so there's the last of the golden pages. We can just go straight back to town, so take that teleport back to town in there, Ames, and I'll set up. There we go. We'll head back. What we can actually do is just take the waypoint straight back to the quest giver there. So we can go waypoint and just take the library waypoint there. And from here we can get our quest reward, and we also need to get the General Gravicius quest reward too. So, support gems. We have Knockback, Purity of Fire, Purity of Ice, Custom Melee Kill, Elemental Proliferation, Purity of Lightning, Chaos Damage, Elemental Weakness, and Cast on Death. Now, Cast on Death isn't too useful. Elemental Weakness is actually probably going to be the one I'm going to go for here, because eventually when we switch to Chain instead of Pierce, we're going to switch out Projectile Weakness for Elemental Weakness. Now, although we do physical and elemental damage, unfortunately, Projectile Weakness Curse also has Pierce on it, and that doesn't synergize so well with Chain, so we want to get rid of that. And Elemental Weakness is the next best damage dealing curse, I believe, for this sort of setup. So we'll go ahead and grab that, and we can even start leveling it now as well. So we'll go back to General Gravicius here, and get my quest support one from... No, we're not going back to General Gravicius. We're going to talk to him. Pretty sure it's Momoa gives it. Here we go. So we've got faster attacks, Pierce, Totem, Mana Leech, critical damage, ranged attack totem, Culling Strike, and increased burning damage. Culling Strike would be good because we could set that up with an item rarity one, as would be faster attacks. Do we have enough faster attacks gems? How many do we have currently? We've got one on our Frenzy setup, but none on our Lightning Arrow setup, and we will want one on our Lightning Arrow setup. So I'll get a second faster attacks gem there, and that'll be pretty handy to have. So anyway, that just about finishes it up for this episode. Had a really good time farming with Amy. Got some sweet drops. We got a Tabula Rasa. We got some other bits of currency and Chaos Orbs and things like that. And I don't think any of these guys are any good. Yeah. Oh, that's a Tri-Elemental Maul. No thanks. But nothing else in there too good. But a few little mediocre sort of upgrades around here and here. And the Tabula Rasa is pretty exciting. Once we get some better support gems, we might be able to use that as well. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and with special guest Amy as well, and thanks for watching.